Good day, my friends. My name is Tracy Repchuk, and I'm the host of Reach Millions TV, an entrepreneurial lifestyle and learning channel where I will educate and introduce you to some of the greatest powerhouses in their fields. As an entrepreneur for over 37 years, I've had the good fortune to appear in Forbes over 27 times, speak in 39 countries, appeared on NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, won awards from the Senate, the Assembly, the White House, and President Obama, written 9 #1 bestsellers. And from that journey, I reached millions with my message. So I wanted to show you and introduce you to the people that can help you to find more leads, make more sales, and reach millions with your message. You can find out more about me at tracyrepchuk.com and reachmillionsacademy.com. Today, we're going to be covering the keys to website success. So the first thing you need to do when you're taking a look at your website and you're really starting to launch on that platform is you need to identify your target market. This is often skipped. People are like, oh, this will be fun. I'll just grab this theme and I'll just, use these colors and I'll put up a website. And the issue with that is, yes, you have a website, but is it going to be making the impression that you need to? Is it going to be communicating to your target market? So you need to understand and really do some research here, because this not only affects your website, but this philosophy is going to carry through your social media, through your product development, and through the way that you put together your copy and communication. So you have to understand first, who is your target market? Then you need to understand, what do they want? What are they looking for? You put yourself in your target market's shoes and really understand what are their interests, what are they looking for, and then also take a look at some other markets that perhaps are in your field that will help you to also understand how did they approach it. And so you're taking a look at age, gender, what professions are they in, what are their interests, and more importantly, what keeps them up at night. This is about satisfying that problem that they have. That's the entire kind of focus for how do you sell and promote your products and services. And of course, your website is the medium that does that. A lot of times people are putting up a website without kind of knowing that this is your window to the world. This is what you're telling everybody about who you are, what you do, and what you have, and how you can help them. So when you are really taking a look at what it is that your customer wants and what it is that you provide, or who is that customer that you can provide it to, when there is a disconnect between those two elements, this produces a gap. And that gap, of course, results in you kind of being where you are versus where you want to be. And so all of the marketing efforts that you put together now have to move you towards where do you want to be. So it first starts with that clear and consistent message. Now you know who you're talking to. What are you going to say to them? How do you help them? So in my case, I say I help you streamline your business, automate your processes, and increase your income so you can scale your business and achieve a financial freedom lifestyle. So that's really what we're always moving somebody towards. When you understand that that's what you're doing, and then your target market understands that's what you do, at that moment, they can determine, hey, I need that or I don't need that. And that's okay. But you want those that need it to be rapidly connected to you. And that's where clarity comes into play. Then you want to carry that clarity across all the platforms. And so that means that no matter what banner, colors, your messaging, your call to action, all of those elements all need to motion towards that same goal. So that means as you are also putting out your content on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok, Clubhouse, whatever platforms that you're using, all of those are consistent because a confused buyer never buys. So because we live in a multi-channel marketing world, you have to know that if somebody finds you on Twitter, or they find you on LinkedIn, or they find you on a YouTube video, and then they all culminate back to your website, that there's not a disconnect. The person that they met over on YouTube, isn't a confusion once they land on your website. And so that's why all of this needs to lend towards a consistency. The third element you want to start to do now is to establish your brand identity, because the more you brand well, the less you need to sell. And this is that piece that helps you stand out from the crowd. Now, a lot of times you're already establishing your brand identity without mentally or consciously doing it. And can be a problem, because other people will start to say, oh, he or she does this. When you actually do that, and if that has ever happened to you, that means that there's a disconnect in your brand identity and you haven't clearly defined it. The clear definition of this now helps to carry through that kind of consistency from where you are. So your brand is really about making it clear what you want to be known for. And if you do not do this, you're going to end up swimming in the sea of sameness. That means that if you are not making the money that you want, perhaps you're getting lost in white noise, right? You're not rising to the top. You're not moving from that sea of sameness to kind of the expert, to the authority, to the thought leader, to the influencer. You're not moving up that level to where, of course, now people are like, oh, yeah, she does this. You need to go to her. That's where you need to end up. And a brand helps you to do that. Now, elements of a brand, there's really 8 major elements, and that's a whole nother video or a whole nother episode. But a couple of the key elements I'm going to pull out of your brand identity. One of them is that unique selling proposition and your messaging. That is part of your brand. The other, of course, is colors. This is why knowing your target market is so important, because you need to select colors that speak to them, that invoke the emotion that you want them to achieve when they hit your site and when they see the elements that you have. And of course, one of the major elements that's going to be rampant on everything that you do is your logo. And so this is where you want to clearly establish those colors, that unique selling proposition, at a glance, what it is that you do. And then with your colors, are you invoking that emotion that you want, that connectedness, so that they, of course, relate to you and want to come out and check your website and your other various online assets. So the next element is that website look and feel. And so you really only have 3 seconds to make that first impression. And these are a couple of examples of websites that clients of ours used to have. And of course, the issue here is you could be creating that horror movie and not even knowing it. So when that occurs, it results in a loss of bookings, clients, and referrals. It can cause you to really be chasing that bright, shiny object. And that's where you're thinking, oh, everybody's more successful, or it's better over there, or they're selling more than me. And so you're constantly looking away from your own platform, your own identity as the problem, right? And that's why this is a very good episode to be watching. The other thing is you could instantly repel your audience with wrong colors and wrong copy. And this is going back to the importance of understanding who is your target market, so that you are communicating directly to them the second that they hit your page. Now, this is that first impression. Your website That first impression is everything. And so if that can cause the instant repel, right? That can cause the, I'm coming to look at you, and then they're gone. That's it. It's over. That opportunity will not come back. They will not return. And of course, you've spent this money in customer acquisition by sending them to your landing page, whether you did it by social media, whether you have it on your business card, whether you went to a networking event, whether you spoke live from a stage. However, you're driving traffic to you've just wasted that opportunity when this was not done right, or is not making that great first impression. And in fact, if your websites aren't working for you, they're working against you. Now, the key here is to meet your market's expectations. And when you do that, that glues them more to your site, and then, of course, causes them to reach out to you. So I'm just going to show you some elements of before and after websites that our agency produced here, so that you can get a feel for what it is you need to be looking for when it comes to your site. So in general, here's the before site. It's got the clarity, right? It kind of tells you that they are an environmentally friendly dry cleaning place, right? But there were some key elements, and this is why knowing your unique selling proposition is so important, because you need to bring that to the forefront, because people need to instantly know what it is that's different about you. So here is the new site that we produced. So here are some key elements, right? They're open 24 hours every day of the year. That's important to know, so that you're never wondering, right? Are they open, and can I take my suit to them? All right. So we also modified their logo a little bit to add LA's #1 dry cleaners for fast premium service. That was actually done to let people know they're going to be expensive, because it's a shock sometimes when a new customer would come in the door and see their prices versus someone else's. Well, why are their prices more? Because of that 24-hour service, because they have, the ability to do pickup and delivery. And that was the other thing that we wanted to, of course, highlight. No other dry cleaner was doing pickup and delivery. And where they're located was very important. And this goes to that target market. We started to target market the local kind of studios, because we were surrounded here by Fox, NBC, ABC, Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon. And so those companies go through costume changes often for sets, right? Well, these guys will come, pick it up, clean all it, and return it. And sometimes within a 2-hour time period. And that's the other thing, was their speed of service. And so then we also encapsulated everything that they do at a glance. See, this is about the time that somebody will consume your information. And if there's anything confusing about what you do or what you offer, they're gone. They're to the next person. So you want to be sure you capture their attention immediately. Another example, mortgage broker here. Now, mortgage brokers, real estate, physiotherapists, chiropractors, a lot of those guys invest in a cookie cutter site, which means everybody's site looks exactly the same, right? And this is what happens here. So you get lost in a whitewash moment. So what we did here is, because when you're a mortgage broker, you're actually the identity. You're that personal brand. You're the difference in why somebody would connect with you or choose you as their representative. And so what we did there was pulled out, in this case, Andrea, and made her the star of the show. And yes, all the content is there, but she is pulled up front. And then we kind of really labeled and identified her 3 top markets: first-time buyers, home buyers, and realtors. Okay, so those are the people. And then, of course, we drilled down within the site to those 3 markets. Again, before, this dating can be fun. Had no idea what this was, right? But this was actually a before of a client. And then here's what it actually was. It's coaching for relationships to show you how dating can be fun, because for a lot of people, particularly over 55, which was her target market, it can be a very daunting task to now have to, and perhaps after a divorce or something of that nature, to now hit the market and understand what to do. I really like this one. This was an example of a before who was dealing with a network marketing company. So what she wanted to do is send the leads to her own site and then send them to the opportunity. That's exactly what you should be doing. But in this situation, it wasn't clear what she did. It, of course, was not impressive. So we just changed that and got the clarity in there. So Beachbody coach for plus size fitness seekers. So that was her target market, right? Because she was larger in an area that, most people are fit and trim already, and they're just trying to buff up a little better. In this situation, she wanted to attract those people who weren't comfortable, who were afraid of, getting into things of that nature. And then you'll notice the 3 boxes: the join, the coach, the shop. Those all linked then to her network marketing opportunity. We also added that opt-in, made it prominent so that she could build a list and then, of course, target those. And again, before, for another client here, right here, you would actually have no idea that she worked with animals and she was an animal communicator. And of course, this is what it looked like. We got such clarity from her logo, right? The love around a dog. And then the unique selling proposition was established, her identity, Canada's #1 animal communicator. And then, of course, all of those services that she can provide: emergency healings, horse healings, dog healings, and cat healings. So it's important that we identified the markets that she can represent. And then the 5th element of your website is really key. This is about goal-oriented page design. Putting your website isn't up there just to be this bland brochure. Every single page that gets designed needs to have a purpose. And those purposes come under really 3 identities. Is this page meant to impress? So it's meant to tell people that you're kind of awesome and that they should pick you. It's either meant to sell or it's meant to attract. So it kind of rolls out like this. Of course, your homepage, where they initially hit, that must impress. You have, as I said, 3 to 7 seconds to make that first impression. And so if it doesn't, they're gone. You've lost that opportunity. But what's really important there is your website needs to be designed to sell, because you can't be everything to everybody. You're now in a global position where you're reaching worldwide. And of course, you want to ensure that those that need what you have, which you clearly identified, then they have the opportunity to click and buy. So don't be afraid of that. So if it's under $1,000, have that buy button on your site and be clear about what it is that you offer and what that package includes. If it's over, then you'll just click to a discovery call or how you like to go through that process of selling. But the key here is, do not let that selling opportunity, be kind of forgotten about by either not having your product, services, coaching details listed, or by not having the ability for them to click and buy. And then attract. So in order to get people to your site, you, of course, are out there doing part of the push to that. But isn't it better when people are coming to your site because they found you? And that is done, of course, with keyword search engine optimized processes. So those include things, of course, as keywording your site in general. But more importantly, if you're going to spend time on blog posts, you keyword optimize the entire thing. If you're not going to keyword optimize a blog post, you actually might as well not do it. because who's reading these things, right? It is meant for Google. That's what this is when you want to do that attraction factor. And so that includes search engine optimized keywords. The last element is you need to be focused on always building your list. Now, of course, I have a whole episode on landing pages. That is the most optimized, rapid way to build a list. And of course, your list is your biggest asset. That is the piece that's going to provide you with the ability to convert, have people to communicate, build that relationship of know, like, and trust, right? Your list is going to be the predictor of your income. And so that is usually done with a landing page. But if all you have right now is your website, you better be sure that you are also being loud on your website, and you're attracting and leading to that conversion element as well. So as somebody goes down and they're taking a look at what it is that you offer, they see this and have the ability to opt in. Now, why am I a big proponent, of course, of the landing page versus just having it on a website? It's that most people come to your website not with the intention of opting in. Okay. So even when you send them there to say, hey, go get my free gift, they get distracted and they're like, ooh, a video, right? And so they, the distraction factor kicks in and they start to look at other things, and you've lost that ability to lead capture at that moment. So that's why it goes usually from landing page, and then you send all your activity to your website. And again, watch the episode on that. So the elements for your web success are to identify your target market, have a clear and consistent message, establish your brand identity, have that really good website look and feel, because that first impression is everything, right? Back to kind of, if your websites aren't working for you, they're working against you. You want to make sure each page is catering to a goal and an outcome. Otherwise, it's extraneous data that you don't need. So the key is to be very thoughtful in your navigation and, of course, in the pages and the goals of those. And then last but not least, build that list. This is a lead generation activity. This is your ability to take them from a curious prospect right on through that customer journey of opting in and then being able to, go from awareness all the way to a buyer. And so I've created the ability for you to rapidly be able to do this and assess where you are in that marketing gap through a quiz. So if you go to fastfixmarketing.com, you can take the quiz yourself, and then you can arrange a call with us. We can go over your results, or you can just take a look at your results yourself. The answers are going to be clear there for you. It's broken down into 3 parts: leads, conversions, and frequency of purchase. And it's going to give you all the answers. This has really been finely crafted over about 15 years now on what are those elements or areas of weakness within a company. Okay. And if you just want a free gift, head to fastactionresults.com. That is my lead generation opt-in page. And you're going to be able to continue to build that know, like, and trust relationship with me. So I look forward to the next episode. See you next time on Reach Millions TV.